Hi, I'm Lily Colich. My topic or my theme is the impacts of technology on literacy skills. So, I'm a high school student, I'm a senior in high school, and I deal a lot with technology. I spend most of my day using my laptop or my phone for just all sorts of things like schoolwork, homework, for sports, for my job, and for things like communication with my friends and my family. Among many, many other reasons. But I am constantly on my phone or on my computer. I'm constantly just using technology. So, technology is always changing, which is causing my education to always change. And I often wonder how the constantly changing technologies and just the rapid growing influence of technology affects not only me, but the people around me and the people in my community and just people all over the world. Like, I know for me personally, in elementary and middle school, we didn't use technology a lot, but the kids in elementary school now have Chromebooks in my school district, and they are doing everything online and hardly anything on paper. So I just always wonder how it affects other people. So for my theme, I came up with my theme using my observations in my interviews. So in my observation, which I was watching someone do their homework, technology was used a lot. It was used to research things, to help answer questions, and just to do the assignment as a whole. And then in my interviews, the people I interviewed brought up technology a lot. They made a lot of comments on technology, about AI, about the media, and just how these things affected them in general. So when I was doing my pattern coding, the main code that appeared throughout my research was digital literacies, which is how technology like phones and computers, how they affect reading and writing. So from there, I came up with my theme or my question of how technology affects literacy skills, specifically in the school setting. So for some possible topics that I think could come from these key ideas are the effects of technology on attention spans and reading comprehension, how technology affects writing and communication skills, and then how education is impacted by technology as a whole. So for attention spans and reading comprehension, I think that just different ages can have different opinions on this. But some of the reasons why attention span and reading comprehension is affected is because of people will now skim a lot, different readings and stuff, so they're not really comprehending as much, and they're often multitasking on technology, so they're not taking in as much. It's also a lot of times harder to focus on computers or just on screens and technology in general, so that can really affect attention spans. For writing and communication skills, it all, just like I said earlier, depends on age, because your opinion can change just depending on your age and how you use technology in your everyday life. But things like AI can either really, really help your writing and communication skills, helping you break down things like that, helping you come up with ideas, but it can also have pretty negative effects. And it just can affect not only people in school and their literacy skills, but just people in the workplace. So a lot of different opinions and sides can be formed from that too. And then the impact on education, different people from all over obviously have different experiences with technology, and each individual person can really say if they feel like technology is good or bad for education. So it just kind of all depends on, just how you see it and your experiences. In my research, one non-scholarly article that I found called "The Impact of Technology in Early Childhood Education" gave me a lot of good information about the positives and the negatives of technology in the school environment, as well as just some middle ground, some things that are not necessarily positive or negative. It explains technology's growing impact in not only school, but just also the world, and gives some facts like how now 53% of kids have a phone by age 11. It talks about a lot of positives, like how technology can help to engage students, how it can improve their communication skills, and how it can just overall be beneficial to students. But it also lists a lot of negatives, like how it is negatively affecting children because they are starting to over-rely on technology. It can lower grades, it can cause a pretty big distraction, and it can also reduce cognitive development and problem-solving skills. So basically the article really just explains how to balance technology and just how teachers can use it for good and for bad. I also found a scholarly source called Exploring the Relationship Between AI Literacy, AI Trust, AI Dependency, and 21st Century Skills in Pre-Service Mathematics Teachers. This article just talks about how teachers are beginning to be more likely to rely on AI and how higher AI dependency is linked to lower development of skills like critical thinking, problem solving, communication, and collaboration. So it gives a lot of examples on how technology is negatively impacting students. But it also touches just on how technology can enhance but also harm students. From all of this research, the working thesis that I have come up with is that the growing usage of technology has significantly impacted literacy skills by affecting attention spans and reading comprehension, changing the way people write and communicate, and transforming education as a whole. This connects with just my theme because it will go in depth and explain the impacts that technology has on students and just on literacy skills in general. Overall, I am really excited to just learn more and dive deeper into how technology impacts just students in education and just literacy skills, especially since technology has such a big impact in my life. I know that for me personally, I've started to really rely on things like AI to help me out, so I'm just very interested to dive a little deeper into that. I definitely still want to know more about just what other people think, the opinions of other people, and how it has impacted others. One challenge I definitely faced was finding good scholarly research or good scholarly sources because this issue or this topic is so new. We really haven't fully discovered how technology is affecting education or how it's affecting literacy skills. So like I said, just a really big struggle for me was finding good scholarly resources. I learned a lot while doing this project, definitely learning how to find good and reliable resources and just being able to explain these sources and be able to elaborate and help other people understand why my sources matter and how my sources contribute to my theme. Overall, I just grew a lot as a writer and just really learned how to better format my writing and help people better understand my writing. A challenge or a problem that I'm facing is definitely just using AI a lot myself or using technology a lot myself. I don't want it to affect things like my cognitive or my critical thinking skills, and to fight or to solve this problem, I can just make sure I'm using AI less. Even when I want to use it to help me just understand things or summarize things, I can make sure that I'm reading it multiple times and making sure that I understand it, and just using my own brain more. And overall, I just think that I'm really excited to continue researching and continue finding out how education and literacy skills are impacted by technology.